Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio, the only podcast that is a complete work, always has and always will be. Every aspect of it, every recording, every interview. Please join me, Scotty, Curtis, Raph, Jessica, and the rest of our creative discussions, so you can expand your perspective. Until then, stop ranting. It's not healthy, my friend. Enjoy the show. I'm your host, Ryan Aitstein. With me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend, Scotty Edwards. Scotty, how are you doing on this fine Monday morning?
You know, it sounded like a great idea yesterday. Like, I was like, you know what? We'll just do the podcast on Monday morning. Little did I know I'd have just as much sleep, if not less.
However, I feel like it would have been less. I feel like it would have been less.
It definitely would have been less because I only slept 2 hours total. So right now I'm on a good 3.5 instead. So that is indeed less. That is how the maths works. But I am happy to be here. I'm on my fourth recording in 24 hours. I have another one after this because I'm a madman. Not like Gabe Kid, but rather like myself. I don't know. I'm a defeated boy. I don't know what to do. But I'm here, ready to talk, ready to have a good time here on Ring Post Radio, as I do every single week. If I run out of steam by the end of this,
I mean, just mathematically, you're gonna have to at some. Your body's gonna shut down automatically. You know.
Yeah. I gotta cut the lawn too.
That's not happening today. The lawn.
Oh, it's happening today. Trust.
The lawn's gonna be there tomorrow. It's not gonna grow 9 feet overnight.
But there's rain tomorrow.
Oh, I understand. I'm back around.
You're welcome. You came right back around. I talked him back into this.
I've been needing to put like herbicide all over my front yard, and it's been raining for a full week, and it's like, well, I'll just keep waiting.
Oh, yeah, see, that's the way it goes. Like that's the problem. But hey, I am here. I'm happy to be here. We're gonna talk so many different things. I'm gonna be honest. Thankfully, I looked at the sheet right before we got on here. I was like, oh, I did watch everything this week. Because I have not watched Dynamite. So thank God we don't cover that every week. I have not watched literally anything besides 2 Joshi shows and DPW Title Fight in Vegas. So
yes, we'll
I'm
certainly
on
talk
point.
about that show. Yeah,
locked in.
In your neck of the woods, Scotty, a momentous, not momentous, I guess, kind of.
It was momentous, and then like it wasn't.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Anyway,
it wasn't in the way that, like, I mean, I realistically, Scotty, I'm not saying you knew anything whatsoever. Obviously,
you can say I knew stuff.
Yeah, Scotty has no sources whatsoever. But like you probably could have recorded audio this instead of recording it this morning, you could have recorded like a year ago.
Yeah, no, you're right.
just sub in like all-star Grand Queendom or going to face this
funny.
person.
That's wicked funny that you said that, because I was talking to Trent.
I could have recorded that audio a year ago, and I definitely don't have any sources.
I was talking to Trent overnight when I recorded the Mayu Iwatani breaking news audio over on my YouTube, youtube.com/@Scotty Wrestling, and he said, like, why don't you just record it beforehand? Like what were you waiting for? You knew where you were going. I was like, I don't know. I just wanted to make sure I had like
you also could have recorded it tomorrow. Like, it's not like there would have been, I guess you're doing a breaking news specific thing.
Yeah, well, listen. I have many ideas for this week. We have a retirement that I want to cover. We have a potential match that kind of leads us to believe that I have more to cover regarding my GOAT. So I'm not going to get sleep this week. It's fine. I will get sleep when I'm dead. Okay. Until then, we just keep pushing forward. I'm going to collapse. I am out of work still. I am using every advantage I have to do this. You are seeing a live in-person crash out, yet I'm in a great mood. That's the thing. I'm in a legitimately great mood. This isn't like a crash out that I've like previously on this show.
On Ring Post Radio.
Yeah, I've crashed out on this show. This is just kind of me, I think, reaching my limit of having 6 hours of sleep combined in 48 hours. But the show goes on. We are here. We're going to talk about it all, which is pretty cool. Ryan's going to just let me talk like as if I haven't been doing that for the past 24 hours. I appreciate that. But I'm excited to see your takes on everything, and we'll see how we get there. But yeah,
should we get into it?
Fuck yeah, we should.
All right, Ring Post Radio. Thank you everybody for joining us. Of course, for Ring Post Radio, the live stream, we'll get the audio up shortly afterwards, as shortly as I can. A big time show, of course. I think thankfully for Scotty and I, and definitely Scotty, based on the crash out he just described. I don't think it's going to be as long as the near 4 hours of audio we did last week, which again, thank you everybody for tuning in, for watching it live, listening to the audio back. We greatly appreciate it. It was a well-received, well-regarded bit of podcasting. So we definitely appreciate that for those 4 hours indeed. But we got a lot in store as well today. We'll, of course, talk about Stardom's All-Star Grand Queendom, which took place yesterday. We'll also talk about...
Holy shit, that was yesterday.
That was yesterday, Scotty. We'll also talk about this upcoming weekend is 2 nights of Wrestling Dontaku for New Japan. Also, on that same Saturday is Noah's Memorial Voyage show. Plus, like as Scotty said, we'll review DPW Title Fight in Vegas as like a sort of WrestleMania weekend cleanup. Also, a show that both of us tried to watch. You listened to the audio last week to hear us complain about it.
You can call it cleanup. I might call it a palate cleanser. Either way, it was good enough to bring it up a week later.
Yes, the frustrating thing. We'll get to it, I'm sure. But and then just like some, there was some additional AAA news that's popped up in the past week, so we'll just cover that a little bit. But I think we got to start off with All-Star Grand Queendom, Scotty. Obviously, I think that is the biggest news. Japan shakes up yet again. Just a Bushiroad company, let's say, shakes up yet again. Top stars leaving left and right. Well, maybe not stars, but stars. Yes, stars leaving left and right. I guess we'll start with that as the big news, of course. And we'll get to it the rest of the show and talk about the rest of the show as we get to it. But Mayu Iwatani, as of today, right, has officially gone from Stardom. It was announced today in a press conference with President Okada. Mayu Iwatani gone. This is the news that I think is not really news in a way. It's massive.
You would think so, but
it's
the way people are reacting, you would think that this was not expected.
You and I expected this when Marigold launched.
brother, I have said this. I've been waiting for a year.
We've been strongly hinting at it for a year.
The amount of people that have asked me in the past 48 hours, how long have you had that tweet waiting? And the answer is always multiple months, is absurd. But it's also
you're scheduling tweets, but not breaking news audio.
I'm not scheduling tweets. I am just getting them prepared.
Sure.
Listen. When there's a photo of Mayu Iwatani pointing at a Marigold World Championship, am I supposed to not have that prepared for the moment she's gone? You know what I saw today, and I do need to crash out about this real quick. I saw that Mr. Meltzer
I was about to bring this up.
I knew you were going to. So I'm just going to bring it up myself. I saw he threw out the idea that maybe she's WWE bound.
He also said AEW, but he was leaning WWE, it sounded like.
Yeah, let me make this life easier for you. No. Hope that helps.
Is that exclusive?
No, it's a Captain Obvious. Like, come on. Like what? Like why? Like what?
Yes.
I understand his job.
Yes,
I understand his job, but like, I didn't hear the audio. Did he bring up Marigold? Does anyone know?
I didn't listen to the audio either, but I saw quotes, and the quotes didn't say Marigold.
Yeah, that's absurd. Like you're missing you're missing the damn point. Like,
Yeah.
I know where we're going, admittedly. Listen, this is the podcast I can say whatever I want because it's not the Joshi podcast. So God bless. Lucky for everyone that listens to the show. Like, I know where we're going.
I know where we're going. I don't know anything.
No shit. Like, you don't need to know anything.
I think, Scotty, I have as much sourcing on this as Dave does. And I know where we're going.
You make a great point. Yeah, like this is a wrestler in Mayu Iwatani who has never, ever shown interest in living in the United States. All she cares about is being with her dogs. Like, she cares about being with her dog, her pets, and being home in Japan. Like, that is what she cares about. And wrestling. Those are the things she cares about. But yeah, we are here. Obviously the news that I have been waiting a year for, that many, I think, that had a clue have been awaiting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people gave up once it didn't happen at the end of March like they did last year. But if you remember on this podcast and many others, I said Queendom. Wait till Queendom's over. And she waited a whole day. She waited a whole day.
Yeah.
Her final match was a IWGP Women's Championship match at the biggest Stardom show ever. And she didn't get the farewell. She didn't get, like, that's I think that more than anything tells you where she's going.
Yeah.
Right? If she was going to WWE,
if she was leaving Japan,
right, she's getting a farewell.
Yes.
But that's not, that's not it. And listen, I know a lot of people are going to be upset. I know a lot of people are upset. I know a lot of people are sad. But here's the thing. I have always been under the mindset, and this will always go, I will always support the wrestler before any promotion.
Sure.
And when it comes to Mayu Iwatani, I will always support Mayu Iwatani over literally anything in pro wrestling. So I'm very happy for her. Obviously, it was an emotional decision. 14 years in one company. She was there day one, and she was there all the way until the biggest show ever. Very fitting. And I could go on and on about how much she has done for Stardom and the importance of her in Stardom, and I'm sure I will by default because we are going to talk about her a few times here. But this is an announcement that was long coming, and I think anyone that didn't see that might have been coping. So you can join Edge and maybe get a concerto to help yourself. I don't know. I don't know. In all seriousness, I'm not here to like rain on someone's parade. Like, I know there's Stardom fans out there that are obviously sad and rightfully sad with how many things have happened or transpired over the past 48 hours.
Or also, like, not just like the Mayu news. Obviously, you have like Tam news. Obviously, you have like the rest of the roster. I think every single person in the roster is injured.
Yeah. You're somehow, and I said this knowing like the two. Right? Like, in my mind, it was two wrestlers. I said end of an era, and new era begins for Stardom and what Stardom looks like.
Yeah.
And I said that for Joshi overall. I didn't know that they'd lose three of the top stars in the company for whether it be the foreseeable future or for good. Like, that is what is happening. The Micah injury is a gut punch as well, I think. Not shocking, as she is someone who has been wrestling through injury for 3 years now with her. If you've watched Micah, you've seen that elbow taped. You probably just thought it was part of her gear at this stage, which I did after a while. I forgot for so long.
The Naito injury of just sort of like,
right.
The attire is the bandage.
Right. I mean, we'll talk about it here on the show. Starlight Kid's still hurt. That's very clear, but she's fighting through it. Saya Kamitani wasn't there, but I'm sure she's pretty beat up. That was a very physical match on Sunday. Everyone's beat up. It's pro wrestling. I understand that. But at the same time, we enter a world of uncertainty.
Yeah.
But a world of opportunity as well.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it at our year-end show that I felt that like 2024 was a year of transition, and I think Stardom is ending a period of transition, a period of transition that obviously started once Rossi left. I guess you can maybe argue earlier than that, but it feels now that we're at the point of like, okay, this All-Star Grand Queendom, I'll lump the whole thing, right? All until All-Star Grand
Yeah.
Queendom is a inflection point of like of these stardoms. We had obviously the Rossi stardom, then we had like a year and a half of just things like scrambling to figure out what do we do next and all these sort of things as we go to the next stage, and then this whatever next is going to be, Scotty, is the next stage. But yeah, Mayu Iwatani gone. Where is she going to go? Currently, there is no big news about that. Obviously, there are rumors about WWE, AEW. I think you and I have been heavily hinting here that it's most likely going to be Marigold. There is a Nanai Takahashi match versus X already announced for Marigold. A company run by Rossi, who is very good friends with Mayu Iwatani. Obviously, I think in the past you described Rossi and Iwatani's relationship as a father-daughter-esque relationship. So, I mean, is it possible for Mayu to go to like a WWE AEW thing because like Rossi would not be able to do like the money aspect of it comparative to Stardom? Sure, right? I think that's like it's wrestling, so it's like
I'll play the game. Yeah, sure.
That's surely possible.
Right.
But then
Mayu,
but then there's also the political aspects of all of that. Would WWE even allow that? Would AEW, who has a partnership with Stardom, even allow that? Like, none of that really like would make sense. The simplest, the Occam razor of this thing is Mayu's just going to go to Marigold, and we're going to call it a day. And maybe if Mayu is that that big of a star and that big of a draw, thank God she's going to Marigold, because I think they need a little kick in the pants a little bit here.
They need a boost. I'll just tell you right now, since the announcement was made, the tickets for this Sunday's Marigold show, they haven't said a word. They haven't said nothing. Right? They just put out a graphic before Queendom even happened. That's all they did. But they made sure. Well, I made sure. I don't know if they made sure. I was pointing out. I made sure to say that's your main event of the evening, everybody. Which I was like, ooh, my bad. My bad. But tickets are flying all of a sudden for that Korakuen because this, you meet that, you realize who she would probably be facing. You see Nanai Takahashi. Yeah, it's fully my expectation. Like, yes, we live in a world of wrestling. Technically, right now she is a free agent, so you never know. I don't think there is a universe she would work for AEW. Based off of certain comments over the past year from certain people. I'll just say that, and we'll move on. I know many people are like, well, the other two members of Freedom are in WWE. So I think that's always a good way to kind of click things forward. But at the same time, it's just, I have been on this path for now over a year. It's not just a year. We're over a year. And I am sticking with that path. There is a literal X put on a graphic that is like, hello, how you doing? Like, it's not hidden. It's not hidden. And
well, other than the X.
like, yes, I know. But like, it's not like they're completely shying away from it.
No.
Right.
No.
But at the same time, they're just, moving forward. And it's going to be a boost that they have been depending on for a year, right? Julia was only there.
It's a CM Punk like Rampage thing where it's like they're trying to advertise who's going to be there without explicitly saying who's going to be there.
And this is important. This is important because I think I explained this last year, right? But Julia was going to be the bridge to try to get there. She got taken a little bit earlier, so that bridge kind of disappeared, right? And they
luckily Sari was there to help. I think honestly help a lot.
Yeah, Sari became part of the bridge, and obviously, she left at the beginning of the year. She's getting prepared to go for the IWGP Women's Title and so on and so forth, which has always been her goal. But we'll talk about that and how there's one match she wants, and now she has to go back to the Golden Fields to go get it. Assuming Mayu is going there, of course. But yeah, it's going to be a boost. It's going to be the necessary boost, just like this Marvelous feud is starting to be a boost for them overall. Heading into Shine Forever, which is the show that Nanai Takahashi is retiring on.
Yep.
That is a hot ticket. That is a legitimately hot ticket. So, as you'd expect, a big retirement is selling tons of tickets. That is at Yogi. Last time I checked, the tickets were doing very well, so that's very cool. But yeah, I am very excited. I have been sitting here for a year waiting for Mayu to do what I've always expected her to do. She told the world she's done with the 5-star Grand Prix. If that didn't give you the idea of like, okay, she's gone, I don't know what did, because like, why would she stay and not do the top tournament of the company? But we're here. She obviously shed some tears, but at the same time had some laughs, had some smiles. So it's a decision that, while you don't take it lightly, it's one that she obviously naturally you have a tough time with.
But it's not a last minute decision. Like,
no,
she's upset that she's leaving Stardom
right.
because she's been there her entire career, obviously.
Yes,
But like,
and
it's
there's a lot of
decision that
wrestlers she
she's like,
cares for.
yeah, but
Right.
her reaction is like, yeah, this is what's happening. This is the next.
Right.
I'm already over this,
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things, and ultimately, like, I sit here and I'm just like, this is it feels right at this stage of the game. Obviously, a lot of people will now kind of look to Bushiroad and be like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
Which
a
I think
big
is
aspect of this.
an obvious direction when you, in 2 week span, watch Tetsuya Naito, Tam Nakano, and Mayu Iwatani all leave a company, which means a lot of money is off the books.
Yeah.
Your 2 highest paid wrestlers in Stardom are now off the books.
Yep.
That's not a shock to anyone. That's not breaking news. I think you could have figured that one out, that they were the highest 2 paid. Mayu has been very well paid for a very long time. There's a reason she's been there and continues to be there. And then obviously Naito, I mean,
Yeah.
we talked about that last week. That's a lot of money off the books as well, plain and simple. So I know people probably don't want to have the Bushiroad conversation. I'm so sick of the Bushiroad conversation, but like this week, I feel like really amplifies where they are as a company, where Stardom goes as a company. It's a lot of change at once, and I don't think people were ready for the Stardom change because of how hot they were over the past few months. So now it's like, they just had the biggest gate they've ever had, 7,503.
Yep.
And just like that, within a day, it's poof.
Well, not necessarily poof,
Not
obviously.
not the attendance. My apologies.
Yes.
But a lot of the top of how we got there is now poof. Especially the biggest draw in company, the 2 biggest draws in company history.
We'll truly see like what happens next with Stardom in terms of like business wise, because they've been, like you said, they've been on such a hot hand for such a long while. And obviously, I think part of that we've talked about as well. Other half in the main event, Saya Kamitani, like she's still around, right? So hopefully, hopefully we'll see.
Talk about her in a little bit.
But hopefully, we'll see more of that continuation business wise. But you have to expect like just immediately there will be a dip in business. I think that's fair to say, especially when the entire roster's gone for injuries.
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen.
And they expect it again.
Yeah.
Well, I know we're gonna get into the show, but why not jump ahead? The next World of Stardom title match is on Korakuen Hall. It's not at a big wrestling show.
Yeah.
Right. It's not at one of the big cards. I think that's a very clear sign of, we expect a dip. Let's fight that with, here's a world title match that will help them a lot. Another way of starting to fight this, I think, and this is not sourcing or anything, this is just truth from me. I think it's very apparent they moved back Sari. I think it's very apparent that at one time Sari versus Mayu Iwatani was probably going to be the Queendom match because of the way Sari had been building it the moment she lost the title in Marigold, and they seemingly pivoted. One, because they probably wanted Mayu to lose to a Stardom talent. Yep. But 2, Sari is going to be a good boost for them post all of this as well. Exactly. So I think it's smart. It's smart business by them in terms of trying to fight back against it. Obviously, like, I can't even say it's like not smart, but like Tam's retired. Like that was just happening. And Mayu was leaving. That was just happening. Like these aren't the same as Naito, right? These are very different from Naito. But at the same time, it's still Bushiroad watching big contracts go out the door. So I understand that conversation.
Well, I think like you said, in this case, I think the Naito thing is watching big contracts go out the door. But in this case, it's something that Bushiroad has probably known about for a year, right? Like 6 months, like
I'd like to think they knew that long with Tam, especially.
Me too. Yeah, so I feel like it's not necessarily the same case in terms of this is people they knew were going to leave, and in some ways, if you look at the difference between like New Japan and Stardom, what has like, if you look at the whole picture, to me, we talked about this last week that it feels like Bushiroad is like actively trying to cut costs in some regard. Why? Maybe it's because they're still because the yen, tariffs may be affecting Japan as well, their economy. It could also just simply be like they're still very much recovering as a business from COVID, right? So it could be all these different aspects. So how are you going to cut costs? Obviously, the top people of the card is going to be letting them go. They're also getting older, and at a certain point, like Naito, like how much more are you going to squeeze from that juice? That lemon, whatever. But like the difference between like in how like New Japan as a business has like not necessarily handled it, but how the outcome of New Japan versus Stardom is that like Stardom had Rossi gone, who then took a bunch of people, which eased up a bunch of money on Bushiroad's end. And then a year later, even more people seemingly chose to leave.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Here in New Japan, they said, no, you're leaving to multiple people. I think the only person that like they actively knew and prepared for was like Ospreay. I guess Jay White as well. But Jay White was, I would say, before really
and that's part of their business is kind of getting used to that, right?
Yeah.
That's been years of that. So
when I remember years ago, even before all this really kicked off, maybe like 2-3 years ago, I think it was Bushiroad said that they wanted to like for New Japan quickly speed up the production of the Young Lions, maybe skip excursions to get them bumping up the roster faster, which tells me that like they had the goal of we want to build up the young stars sooner because we know we are going to get rid of the older, more expensive stars later.
Of course.
Which makes sense, right? And that's playing out. That's been playing out for the past 2 years, right? So luckily for Stardom, in a weird way, people are choosing to leave, and that makes Bushiroad be like, all right, that's okay with us. That's fine.
And I'll say this: where Stardom succeeds in losing is that their future talent's ready, right? Like they are ready and raring to go.
They have a depth chart. Like
and while it will be difficult because it's 3 massive major names either out of action or gone, it's very different from when Okada and Ospreay left, right? Everyone's like, who's gonna step up? And it's like, I don't know who's ready to step up.
They didn't have the depth last
year.
Like this year, better. This year certainly better
for sure, absolutely. So it'll be better for them now with Naito leaving, obviously, than it was when Okada and Ospreay were leaving. But for Stardom, for example, there's multiple people you can literally point at on this very card we're going to talk about. That's like she could step up, she could step up, she could step up, right? I mean, Sue Suzuki is one of the obvious options. Like she literally had one of her best performances in her tenure within Stardom on that very show.
They also just built a faction around her, which tells me that she's they are actively stepping her up right now.
Right. Exactly. And I don't want to, I'm not going to bring up the obvious names that everyone wants of Momo Watanabe and Hazuki, because why make you sad? I'm not going to make you sit here and make you sad.
I just laid out how Bushiroad wants to push young stars.
I know. Well, they're still both young. Momo Watanabe, 25 years old.
Yes, but in comparison to the rest of the roster, we all know what I mean.
I know. It's very funny just because like young stars. I'm like, Momo's younger than you guys. What are you saying about me? Like, fuck
Well,
off.
you're the grandpa of the show, of course.
No shit. I am the oldest. But yeah, like for me, I'm excited for. Okay, let me rephrase. My interest in Stardom was always going to plummet with Mayu not there. That's just the truth. I know that, but at the same time, we're coming off a show that was so wonderful, so fantastic. It does keep you excited, I think, of where you go from here. That is the intrigue that Stardom does have going for them, and I think it will probably push through the next month or two. You won't see tickets or anything go down for a while because up until today, everyone was expected to be there besides one.
Yeah.
Right. So, and as far as the one that was gone, I think some people still believes she might still be there. So like I don't see that being a big change. Obviously, when in Japan, ticket sales are king, right?
Yep.
So that's gonna always be what matters. Like the first Corkin they have, they'll do good. It'll be from there though that we really start to figure things out.
One last bit about Mayu. Obviously, the assumption is going to Marigold to play devil's advocate or to play Dave's advocate in this case. We don't know if she's going to Marigold, how long of a contract that is, right? We don't know if she's going to be there for the rest of her career.
Sure.
Just I assume she is, right? I think
Sure.
that's a fair assumption. It could be a Julia last minute, all of a sudden, not really last minute, but you know what I'm trying to say. It could be a
Yeah.
thing where she's there for 6 months and then she pops up somewhere else. I don't know. I don't think you know, Scotty, genuinely. You might. I think you would have the same idea of me of like she's probably in Marigold for a good while. But we'll see what happens. I guess that's just devil's advocate of maybe, who knows. I think strongly that it's Marigold for a long while, and I'm sure Scotty will tell me something after the show. Let's talk about All-Star Grand Queendom. Of course, really good attendance in the Yokohama Arena, 7,500 in attendance. Obviously, the goal was 10K.
That was never happening.
Never going to hit that goal. Very good goal to have. Really did, I think, a good job nonetheless. I believe I think I saw that this was the best attendance of a non-New Japan company. And I think like the third best attendance of the year so far, I think is what in Japan, I guess. Third best in attendance
After the Dome and
Dynasty, I presume.
Dynasty.
Or the other two. Because I think it was better than the Cup as well. Because that would really be the only other things that would compare it. But yeah, I mean, pretty good, not pretty good, really good attendance for this company. The best attendance for Stardom ever.
By 2,000. By almost exactly 2,000.
Scotty, we can dunk on President Okada all we want, but goddamn, does this guy know how to promote and draw crowds for his buildings?
Yeah.
Give him his flowers where they're due, I guess.
I will give him credit. I will give him flowers. Because it takes a team to get here, right? And obviously, officially, he is the leader of said team. I'm going to give a lot more credit to one wrestler on this show for it, more than any, because it was her story and it was the way she has built the other wrestler. It's very easy to figure out who I'm talking about, but for the sake of conversation, we will save that for later.
I guess we'll just go top to bottom here. Top of the card, or not, I guess that we'll start the future Stardom title match. We'll just quickly go through these things. I think you would agree with me here, Scotty. It is the first 30 matches here are fine. Skip. You can skip them if you want.
There's a big news story, obviously, with one of them, but yeah.
Yes. But the latter half of the card, especially, I don't know, the last six matches are all the stuff you really want to check out. But there's really good stuff here and news bits as well. Future Stardom title match: Hina defeats Rana Yagami, 12 minutes and 14 seconds. What do you think of this match, Scotty?
Simple Future Stardom title match. What you want to do with these matches is have them set the set the bar, raise the bar, whatever. Not raise the bar, but just kind of set the stage. Shouts out to Sheamus and Cesaro. What you want to do is kick the show off on a nice note, right? You don't want to have the end all breakout match, but you do want to elevate the crowd and the interest, right? You don't want to have the biggest and best match first, but you do want to have a match that counts, a match that matters. And that's what they did. You know, they had a fine future Stardom Championship match. I don't think it was blowaway or anything, but
No.
I think both Hina and Rana Yagami are fascinating prospects for this company. Because I don't know what their ceilings are. I don't see them as like world champion. I think Hina has a better shot just because obviously she's going to have the interesting stories with her sisters down the line that's going to make those matches happen.
Yeah.
And she's showing strides. And since she's got this future belt, it's very clear she's making necessary strides. But when you come to the prospects and the hopefulness of who steps up into the Wonder and World of Stardom title pictures right now, these two I wouldn't have there. But that's why they're facing off for the future of Stardom Championship on this match. They're not supposed to be there yet, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think like this was totally a fine match in my book as well. I see these people as like maybe eventually like Wonder people, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like we were
Hina will challenge Hana in Arena. Like I know that.
Like, but like
than that,
in the topic of like, you know, last year or 2 years ago when you and I are fawning over Hanan, right? Like that's like, oh, that's a future world holder. You know what I mean? Here we're like, yeah, these are nice little wrestlers. Next up, Sayaka Kurara defeats Tekla. 12 minutes and 49 seconds. The big news bit here is that by defeating Tekla was fired from the company, and that is a shoot. I guess fired is I don't know if that's necessarily a shoot, but no matter what,
you don't mean like she was
kayfabe. She was fired. She is leaving Stardom. Never mind. She's leaving Stardom. Tekla's gone. She's no longer in Stardom. Where is she going? By the way, so many people leaving this company. Holy shit. Tekla is now gone.
She was always expected to. I always, that
the fact that she started a feud with Okada and the bit started becoming like, oh, you're gonna leave. I'm gonna let you go wherever. Like that became. I think so. I think I saw someone say that they were comparing this. I think Okada was comparing this to like Vince McMahon and Austin for some reason. Like I saw someone like that quote.
The Japanese commentators brought it up.
Okay.
And
that was a bold stance to make.
Yeah.
I thought this match was totally fine, like aggressively fine, in my opinion. Yeah. Where's Tekla go? If people are thinking Mayu and like AEW and WWE, I mean Tekla is like Tekla's so US coded.
Yeah, she's going to America. I don't think that's a question now that Fightful has the report out too. I expect her to. I think she's going to join AEW. That's my gut.
That's also my gut. I think AEW makes sense. I think Clark Connors is also going to join AEW.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not this year, but I think eventually. If not this year, next year.
I just think like, I always thought that like Tekla would go to AEW and it'd be a good fit. Plus, weirdly, AEW has got a big role lately of taking the non-Japanese wrestler from Stardom like year after year, right? And pushing them. Mariah May, Megan Vane, Tekla potentially. So that seems to have a theme that will be continued. So I think that'd be fair. I would also see Clark Connors in AEW as well. I think that's just fair. Plus, like on top of that, I just you hear those rumors of like they want to do like a mixed tag tournament. I was like, oh, you just have Tekla and Clark Connors in it. That works.
Right. I already have to see it in Stardom. At least put it in a company that makes sense.
Yeah. So I was like, that makes sense. And look, I mean, Tekla, I think she would actually do really well in America. I think that her Stardom run, I think, started hot and then just kind of slowly went downhill since there. But I think she will do really well in America. She has a great look. She does the little spider walk thing, so that's going to go over super well. She's gonna do great. I think she's legitimately gonna go great in America, no matter where she goes. But to me, AEW feels like the safer spot.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I'm happy. I don't have to watch her anymore. I'm just gonna be honest. I did not enjoy her hate run
Mhm.
specifically. It was not good. Um, she tried to bring War Dog's mindset, I guess, to Stardom, and so many times it just didn't click.
Yeah.
When I see people that really legitimately support and like Tekla feel the same way, it makes me know I'm not just a hater or something. Um, but that being said, she is going to succeed in America. I'm pretty confident in that. Because she's charismatic, she's different, and um people in America are the ones that have been trying to get her here. So like you got her now, so you better make it work. I think AEW is the place. I don't know why. It just feels like the place to me. I don't see her in WWE for some reason.
Well, ultimately WWE NXT, and I, to be honest, like NXT Women's Division is like so overfilled at this point that like I also just think that would be a bad spot for Tekla to go in right now. You
Sure.
know what I mean? In terms
She's
of her perspective.
so Tekla's she's only 31 years old. So like this is a wrestler you're getting that has a lot of obviously seasoning in Japan. She's been there since 2019 in
Mhm.
Stardom since 2022. So wherever she goes, obviously best of luck. I think she's gonna make a lot of sense though. Um, I think she's gonna make a lot of sense in AEW. I wouldn't be shocked if she's the one that took the Ring of Honor World Championship off of Athena. I think that's a possible thing. They kind of set that up in Stardom at the beginning of the year, and
Yeah,
then they said we'll meet again in America.
that's
Maybe
true.
that was truth. Maybe there was truth behind that. We were going to play out the rest of the contract and the story. Um,
They also just
yeah,
did like this announcement of like Tony Storm will do like a AEW Women's Title Eliminator with any woman on the roster. And I just see that I'm like, well, that to me that screams a debut for somebody. I'm not saying that's what this is what that's
yeah,
gonna be, but
sure,
that sort of idea just feels like, oh, someone debuts, beats Tony Storm, and then that could be like the double or nothing match. You know?
yeah. Something I've thought about is maybe pairing Tekla with someone will be your best bet. I don't know who off the top of my head. Obviously, like Clark Connor is just like the first person you think of. I understand that, but I mean from like the women's
The
division
classic
here.
Ring Post Radio bit. Let's pull up the AEW roster page.
Of course, of
Hmm.
course. I mean, all the people like that you'd want to pair her up with either are not around, um, or are not interesting. I feel like this women's division is so much bigger than it actually is. like,
Yeah.
like you actually look at the roster, and it's like, well, you're not here, you're not here, you're not here, you're not here. Like going down this list, I'm pretty sure Abaddon left, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
And I was just thinking that.
Britt
I have like
Baker's not here.
I have two names as a potential idea.
If you say Camille, I will laugh forever.
Well, I mean, you're not doing anything with her, so that's not who I was thinking of, but like, sure. I don't think you should do that though. I was thinking like, what about Hikaru Shida?
Sure, why not?
That'd be fun. The other person I thought of was Ruby Soho.
Ruby Soho.
Yeah, as a
Holy
heel.
shit, haven't heard that name in forever.
Well, she's been gone on
Big
maternity
hit,
leave, and
right?
obviously and I think now husband
Angelo?
has returned. So presumably I mean, I assume she's still on maternity leave, but presumably she'll come back at some
Sure.
point, right? And I feel like that would be a nice little pairing. I'm just looking at Ruby Soho visually, and I'm like, that feels like that could fit a Tekla vibe.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think that's kind of one of the people I was thinking of. Like, well, she's not around, so it's hard to use her maybe. But if
Yeah,
she does come back around, why not?
exactly.
I think that's definitely something of interest and something to consider. But yeah, Tekla in AEW is fine.
Yep.
Um, it's, I mean, it's not going to excite me, but it's gonna. I know people have been wanting her there
Yep.
from that are AEW fans, so now you can get her. and enjoy her. So have at it.
I do
Hopefully she
like the
does well.
idea of Tekla showing up and Tekla being the title match with Toni Storm, a Double or Nothing, because then you would have her versus Tekla, her versus Megan Bayne, the last pay per view, and we'll just continue this sort of her versus ex Stardom talent.
That is funny, and
and
they're all there because they love Toni Storm, like Mariah May.
Yeah. Maybe then we'll get Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. I know she's been in AEW for a while now, but we'll count her as well. And then you got Forbidden Door around the corner right after that. So then you do an actual Stardom talent. So
I said in my bold predictions this year, I jokingly said the IWGP Women's title would finally be defended at Forbidden Door. I don't think that's gonna come true because like, yeah, Shuri could do it, but I don't think Shuri's gonna even have it by then. So like,
yeah, if I'm Stardom, I'm putting on Shuri.
And the person that will have it does not work for Stardom, so that will definitely not happen.
Now,
no.
That being said, Suri probably would be open to working. Oh no!
Oh yeah,
would be open.
Well, okay, if you book her against one of the two people she wants to face, sure.
Will that happen? Probably not.
Probably not. Maybe. I mean, maybe. The thing is, she wants those matches in America, not England.
Well, Forbidden Door is
in England.
Is in England, yeah, this year. I couldn't remember because it's not at Wembley. Because what am I thinking of? No, it is in England because Wembley is not. All In is not at Wembley. Forbidden Door, they got moved to England. Yes, that's what.
It's at the O2, right?
Yeah, it's at the O2 Arena.
Ooh, what are we? We're still talking Tekla.
Yeah, we can move on. Yomiko Hoda, Jesus Christ, Ryan, defeats Rina 10 minutes and 2 seconds. I thought this was fine.
Yeah. It was a way to get Rina a singles match, and that is that.
How many bumps did Hoda take?
Maybe 2, maybe 1.
Maybe none.
I mean, I had fun for what it was. This was the first headbutt, by the way, of the night. Not that I could have kept count because of Saya Kamatani and Tam, but it was the first.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're starting early. Okay. Lots of them. But yeah, that is that.
6-man tag team match. Meiko Satomura, Mika Iwata, and Yuna defeat the team of Cosmic Angels, Natsupoi, Sayori Anu, and Aya Sakura. This was, again, I thought this was really fun. Meiko Satomura in these sort of tag matches are always very fun because, it does hide a little bit that slower aspect of Meiko a little bit.
Yeah.
But because you're able to hide that, she just looks like she's killing people out there, and that's fun. I have spoke highly about Mika Iwata before, and I think she's great. I'm not the only person that said that before. She's been around.
Yeah, you joined many that rooted her, that wanted her to succeed forever. So
yeah, and yeah, I thought this was a fun little short 13-minute tag match.
Yeah, it was really fun. I think this is where you start to see the card take a turn.
Correct.
For sure.
This is the Logan Paul AJ Styles match of WrestleMania Night 2. Where that match takes a turn.
Yeah.
This one takes a turn to a positive.
This show very highly rated after the actually I think it's after this it's like every match on Cage Match is like 8 or higher or something.
Correct.
As I've seen, which is absurd in this day and age. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's nice to see Meiko. Meiko retires tonight. Tonight on Wrestle Universe. It's fucking crazy. Like, I watch Meiko Satomura, right? And sometimes she's a little bit slower, but she still is so good. And it's like, do you have to retire? And it's like, but it's one of those things where you're like, you know what? You're retiring at a point where you can be proud of what you put on put in the ring, right? You're retiring at a point where you can be proud of what you've brought to the ring. And I think that's very important. Because some people don't know when to retire, and then they keep going and going and going until they have that one match where they're proud of. Shout out to the Undertaker, whose proud match was not a real match. But for Meiko, she's gonna retire on top. She's gonna have Manami beside her, and she's gonna have Chiro Hashimoto and Aja Kong standing across from her. So it should be really, really cool. And I'm looking forward to that. And she says farewell to Stardom here in her second to last match. So that's cool.
Yeah. So good for her. We'll see what her next stage of her career is going to look like. And I imagine, like any Joshi retired wrestler, I'm excited to see her wrestle in 10 years.
Yeah, shit. She has said her plan. She wants to make the next like great Joshi wrestler. She wants to find someone and train them up. And I'm like, you literally trained up Chiro Hashimoto. Like, what else do you need? I was like, she's right. Like, she's great. Well, you don't need to find more. But
Yeah.
I think it's cool that like she has a plan like that because at the same time, it's like, I mean, I'm not going to complain, right? I'm not going to be up. Oh, you want to build someone up? Fine by me.
I like Big Hosh, so why not?
Yeah, why not two?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's cool. That's
yeah.
cool.
I'm excited to see that tonight. Next up, no DQ match. Suzuki defeats Mesara in 15 minutes and 55 seconds. A bloody affair this was,
Yeah,
as I believe Suzu got opened up, Crimson Mask, I don't know,
she got
2-3 minutes in.
she got opened up and she's like, I'm back.
Yeah.
Like it was when she got opened up, she got up and you would have thought like I literally tweeted, I was like, she is the happiest person uh, in the world tonight. When she had the no DQ TLC match at the Crazy Fest show,
Yeah.
she literally ended that like this is the happiest I've been in forever. So it's like like getting to do this, it feels like the starting point of Suzu getting back to greatness. I've been very high on her obviously this year and her turning that corner after a tough 2024.
Yeah.
But this was awesome. And May Sarah, I need to give her credit. I've given her credit on every recording I've done, but I'm gonna give her credit. This is not what she does, guys. Like this is not her wheelhouse. She's the high speed baby face underdog type wrestler and she was bleeding buckets. Like that was crazy. That was crazy. And I liked that the no DQ was to aid the match, not to be the match.
Yes.
It's always very important.
Yeah, I thought this match was really, really good. Suzu, you're right. She's coming back around and building their, they're behind her. Obviously, Stardom is behind her, and she's getting pushed. And not just that, but as her and as a faction pushing her in this way. I talked about how like I enjoyed Stardom last fall, right? When they started like delving more into that hardcore thing, because I talked about like, at the time I was like, obviously they were doing that because of the Dump Matsumoto Netflix stuff, but
Yeah.
it's something that like I guess because of Rossi, right? Like it felt like that violent Joshi match just kind of like went to the
Yeah.
wayside a little bit.
That
Um,
well, no, because he did the Sari Bozilla one. I think it's just the scene.
that could be true as well.
Honestly, like I think the scene got to a point where they stopped doing that.
I guess this because it turned into like idol
And which, to be
gimmicks, I
fair,
guess.
I Idol has always been part of Joshi.
Sure.
But it became in many ways the center point
Yeah.
as well.
And I'm glad that it's coming back. And
Mm.
Suzu's really good at it. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. Definitely feels like it would be a heel faction. So I'd see, and based on the finish of this show, it feels like I don't know how that's gonna play out,
I
but we'll see, I guess.
I think I think this is the official replacement of DDM.
Oh yeah.
Finally, I think that's what this is. I always thought that she would be the one to take over DDM. Um, Obviously that did not happen. They rather just got rid of it and moved on. Which, to be fair, in the new regime, they probably would have done that anyway. So it's
Exactly.
fine. But we're living La Vida Loca now, so that's okay. Um, I will never not say that when I think of this faction name. But I'm excited. I mean, it's a new thing for her to lead, and it's a faction that is pretty cool, pretty badass. That's kind of the vibe. And
Agreed.
Suzuki is a badass. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Badass vibes are cool. The little tweener gimmick where you could be the heel, you could be the baby face.
True.
That is always appreciated, right? That's kind of what they are. I think they're definitely more heel based on Suzu destroying May Sarah. But I do think that's kind of the vibe they'll fill for their run here.
Speaking of Big Hosh, Chihiro Hashimoto defeats Micah 14 minutes and 55 seconds to retain the Sendai Girls World Title. Again, I thought this was really, really good. Obviously, Micah working an injury, and after this match, it's decided I'm going to take a leave of absence to recover from this injury. How long? We have no idea, but we'll see. But
one reporter expected for most, if not all, of the rest of the year, so that's a lot, obviously. But it sounds like it's like big time, like surgery, probably. So that makes sense. She's beat up. She's been in many ways the Iron Woman for Stardom. She's there every show. Taped up, bandaged up. I mean, they all are. But she has been going. I'm not gonna say it was a shock that she lost. I don't think that's true, because I picked Hashimoto to win. But I will say, when Satomura won, I was like, wait a minute, are we doing the 50-50 with let's both get wins here? Thankfully that's not what we did. Instead, Sendai Girls goes undefeated on the night, which was a bit of a shock. But it was a good match. I think they have better in them. I think you could certainly tell, one, they were going to be limited based on the match before it. Like, that match was crazy and all that. But at the same time, now that in retrospect, Micah is going on break. And she's wrestling a few more times over the next week before she's done, because she's at a point where she should just take time off, but she could still compete, obviously.
It seems like whatever the injury is, it's like something that like you can't hurt it can't hurt her elbow anymore. So it's just like, I'll just continue to work on it because it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
It's been taped for 8 years. So yeah. Or not 8 years, 3 years. 8 years would be insane.
Not necessarily the same thing, but like I think of like the Cody Rhodes pectoral muscle thing, where it's like you already tore it. You could just technically you could wrestle, like it's fine.
Right.
Like, it's not gonna be worse.
You're already destroyed. What's a little more damage? Nothing's gonna change. Yeah,
it's already off the bone. Who gives a shit, my guy?
That's true. But obviously, I'm wishing her the best. I'm wishing her the best. Haas should have absolutely won, so that goes without saying. I think Sendai Girls, I've said this for a while, the long-term goal there is Haas and Sari anyways. So God bless. We're Sari, as I said after the show, Sari and Mayu gave the rest of the wrestling world a 4-month head start. Now it's go from this point forward, and I think that's fun. Especially the Joshi world. They gave them all a head start, and we'll see how it goes.
Next up, the Goddesses of Stardom title match. This was Hana and Saida defeating Hazuki and Koguma. This match ruled, Scotty. I love this match. This was one of my favorite matches of the night, easily. Maybe a little biased. I'm a big Hanan fan, big Saida fan, of course. Long-time listeners know this.
Hazuki fan,
big Hazuki fan.
You hate Koguma, but the other three are so powerful that it's like it doesn't matter.
I love Hazuki tying up Hazuki tying up Hanan in the ropes and then hitting her with that like sort of face breaker or whatever, the knees, pulling thing. The fucking I want to say it was Saida to Koguma, I think. The buster off the top rope directly onto the apron. That ruled. That looked terrifying. She said
she did a fucking muscle buster on the apron.
Yes. She was holding her up on the apron, and my wife is like in the room trying to talk to me, and I'm like looking at the screen like, oh my god. I was like, Jesse, I'm listening to you, but oh my god. And there was another moment with Hanan after that. I think like a super high angle, like German or something like that. That looked really good.
Yeah. So from there, this is the great point to talk about. After the muscle buster, it was just Suzuki and Hanan, and they beat the living shit out of each other. It went like, I just remember sitting there watching. I was like, this is uncomfortable. It's great, but it's uncomfortable.
It fucking ruled
because there's real dislike here. There's real hatred here. And you were seeing it unfold in real time, and you finally saw Hazuki say, all right, enough. And that was the beauty of this. The match ending with them trading headbutts and then Hazuki literally just getting dropped on the top of her neck. I was like, fuck. All right, we're good. Fantastic match, awesome tag. I don't want to be the listen. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I don't think Hazuki's ever gonna get one of those top two belts. I'm just gonna be honest. I know. But listen. When the person that is going to get one of those belts, if not both those belts, is the other person on the other side that they're very behind, and she doesn't like her, doesn't set up good. Now that being said, we're in the world of making money. We're in the world of business here. Hazuki versus Hanan is now one of the most highly anticipated singles matches this company could put on. And in a time where Mike is gone, Mayu's left, Tam's retired, we should be about giving the people what they want. That being said, Stars is a mess.
Well, also, that being said, they kept the titles on Hanan and Saida.
Yes.
So it is like, well then, what is there? I guess you could maybe do Hazuki versus Saya Kamitani as like a one-off, little bit there.
Yeah, I mean,
did they announce who the Korakuen Hall title match is against?
Yeah, it's Sayaka Kurara. She used her wish.
Oh, you're right.
Which, to be fair, that is another person there building up in absence of Tam. So those are like the Tam prodigal daughters right there facing off in Korakuen Hall. So we'll see. But yeah, that is where they're going. And I mean, Hanaka's challenging for the Wonder Stardom title, and there's not a person less ready for that than her. So I just like when I talk to people that do like Hanako a lot and they say she's not ready, like that tells me a lot. Again, it's like with the Tekla thing where like people didn't like her hate run. People also agree Hanako's not ready for that, but that's what they're going. And again, I can't hate on it because you have to be pushing these new people.
Yes.
That being said, should be Hazuki.
Alas, here we are. This match ruled. I loved it. Yeah. I went 4 1/4. I love this match. It ruled. It was great.
More violence. More Hazuki-esque violence.
Yeah, baby. Hazuki rules. IWGP, that's all I have to say on that matter. IWGP
rules.
IWGP Women's Title match. Shuri defeats Mayu Iwatani. Obviously, we talked about the fallout of this with Mayu being her last match. But Shuri picks up the win in another great match here. Scotty, I'll give you that floor.
This was like so. Okay, I know. Like, I'm going into this. I know where we're going. I know what's happening. I'm very aware that this is very likely it. Okay, but seeing the rest of the people watching this show realize that in real time as Mayu sheds tears as the match is starting. So that's not something Mayu does, guys. Like the most vulnerable we've seen Mayu in a long time has been last year around this time, obviously, and then now. And that just set the tone, I think, in the building as well. The crowd, you could tell, was also feeling it. They were like, interesting. And this match was very emotional for both sides. This wasn't a one-side emotional hit. This was also Shuri getting back to the promised land. This was Shuri getting back to the top of Stardom. Finally getting to do something. Like I've been talking about it ad nauseum. This match meant a lot to me. I know it meant a lot to many others because it was an emotional match for both. It is the final Stardom match of Mayu Iwatani's career. So that just exclamation point for me of how important this was. And I said this on my breaking news audio over on youtube.com/AskScottyWrestling about Mayu Iwatani. I said that because I saw a lot of people talk about how does she not get a farewell, right? How does she not get a farewell tour? This is the woman who has been Stardom for 14 years. And I said, what's more like Mayu Iwatani? Getting a farewell tour or going out with a classic? I was like, that is Mayu Iwatani to me more than anything else. And especially doing so while being champion going into the match. Just absolutely fantastic, absolutely hard hitting, everything you'd expect out of these two. Once again, Shuri became Mayu's final Stardom wrestling soulmate. I think that's the best way to say it. Their two matches for the IWGP Women's title were the best two of their run together. And yeah, I just applaud both of them for what they accomplished, because they went out there to try and steal the show, and they left poor Starlight Kid and Azumi in the worst humanly possible role, because that match was so emotional. Everyone was so out of it after that, and then you had to get Ray amped up for the main event. Yeah, it's a watch that I will remember for a long time because of what it was and where it ultimately ended up being. I saw, when I reviewed it yesterday, I had Peps on. He said, he kind of felt empty when it was over. Yet I felt full. I felt complete. I was like, this is it. This is the right way for this to happen. And I'm just so happy, man. I'm just so happy. We got here. It's been a year of pain and ups and downs, and now we're here. And now Shuri's a fucking champion. Like, hell yeah. Like that should be the takeaway. I understand, like, obviously for me, it's Mayu's last match and all that, so that's a big takeaway. But another takeaway is Shuri's champion, and I've never seen so many people happy for one person to be champion again. Like, this is a roster outpour of happiness. This is someone who does her job great, has done nothing for essentially 2 years. She's challenged for the singles title once in 2.5 years. My apologies. Since she lost the World of Stardom title. That's ridiculous. Like, this is the wrestler you put in there to have a great match. So congratulations to her. And now we're on the road to Shuri versus Shuri. I don't know what else people need from me in terms of excitement. That's what you want to see. And that is a match that Stardom should be lining up again to help them keep interest.
Agreed.
And if you can get Sari preview tags along the way, that's good as well. I'm sure they will. I don't know why she would just do the one match. My guess is Yogi in June. They'll probably do that.
I thought this match was really good. Obviously, a massive emotional component as well. And you get even more of that on the back end once the announcement of Maya leaving happened. For a lot of people that didn't know, I think you probably tell though. Yeah, this is a great match. Missing that high stakes springboard Poison Rana, that botch there that really sucked, but it doesn't necessarily destroy what was still a great match. Just to acknowledge that aspect of things.
Yeah. So
and Shuri
I
winning
just need
the
to say
go ahead
on that. I know a lot of people are going to point that out, and for me, it was like, I don't know. It's almost fitting for the final Mayu match to have something familiar to her first couple of years. Was just like she's gone so perfect with that specific move.
Yeah,
that one move that I don't think should be perfect ever because of what you're doing.
It's very, but they also like went back to put Shuri down, immediately went to
a she instantly went to a moonsault. It was perfect way to follow up. It was just like one of those, for me, it was like a nice note of like, Mayu's never been perfect. She's never claimed to be perfect. So why be perfect now? And I thought that was nice. And
the perfection of Mayu is like that happening, and instead of like redoing the spot or being like awkward and silly or whatever, just immediately go like, okay, we're gonna fix it, go into a moonsault immediately.
Right. And then Shuri's probably like, all right, that hurts too. Cool. Sounds good.
Sure. Maybe that's a better bump. Dude, is that a better bump? Huh?
I don't know.
Gotta be, right?
Well, it has to be. Well, it depends how you take the Rana, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
but Shuri's taking on her face, of course, somehow taking. She's somehow going to reverse all the way and land on her face.
Yeah, it's the moonsault's probably a simpler thing. You're used to.
Plus, you're like catching a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, how like they're like holding them their left arms out or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, Shuri, IWGP Women's Champion. That's very great. It sucks though, because obviously it sucks, Scotty, that Shuri's champion, because obviously based on the previous holders, I guess Shuri's leaving Stardom, right? I guess.
Yeah, it's not a good run there.
Not a good omen.
I mean, I think the main problem for her is that I don't think she's going to be holding it very long. I I think the best part of all this, like once you get past the emotional side, was Sari being like, "Why are you all so emotional?
Yeah,
I just want to win the damn belt, guys."
that's my champion. That's my champion right there, baby.
And I will say I think the most fun part of this was Sari being like, I still need that match with Mayu. Like I'm not just gonna let this go. Like this is a match I need to beat her.
Yeah.
And next year's their 15th anniversary. Timing will line up. The days will happen, whether that be at a Sariism show, whether that be at a different show, because we can't act like things are happening because Dave thinks WWE or AEW.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And somehow that's another boost that Mayu brings is that Sari wants to face her still, even though they had the one match, and I think that's exciting. But yeah, Shuri versus Sari, that's gonna be great. What else do you need from me?
That's gonna be fucking incredibly hard hitting.
Yes.
That's gonna be brutal. Wonder of Stardom title match, the semi-main event here. The Starlight Kid defeats Asume in 20 minutes and 37 seconds. This match
you're an ass.
This match again, really, really good. Maybe if anything,
I thought this was the weakest they've had.
Yeah, I was gonna say again, it's like really, really good, but also disappointing because I do also agree that I think it was the weakest they've had. But to be fair to them, Starlight Kid going into this injured, coming out of this still injured, right? Like,
yeah.
And obviously they aren't. This isn't a high speed title match, right? It's not that plethora of matches, that rivalry they've had in the past. They are doing a more semi-main event limb work sort of style here, and I think
because they have to. I don't think Starlight Kid can move enough.
That's also a fair point.
As fast as she could either.
That's also a fair point. I guess if we get a rematch, we'll find out if that's the case. But ultimately, it's like it's still a very good match, still very strong, but I guess disappointing compared to their history.
They were also obviously shoehorned in a awful spot. Like, let's have all these emotions. Fantastic matches. Let's have all these emotions, right? And then let's just put this match with the emotion of we're stablemates. Like we're pretty happy to be here. Like it just wasn't the spot you want to have, but they tried their best, and I give them that credit. But yeah, I mean, this match not living up doesn't hurt the show whatsoever because of what the show was.
Yeah. It's all right.
They were probably the only people you could put here, honestly. Like anyone else, I think it's even worse. Like in terms of like suffering, because they're gonna have a different match from the two matches that they're booked in, by. So that's part of it too.
Yeah, it's also the wonder. It's like you could have maybe swapped this with the tag titles, but it's fine. You know what I mean? Like
I think the placement was correct because there was no way you were putting Mayu and Shuri before the main event. That just would have been that would have hurt the main event in a lot of ways, and you didn't want to do that.
Yeah. World of Stardom title main event, of course, also a career versus career. So title and career versus career match all on the line. Saya Kamitani defeats Tam Nakano, 26 minutes and 9 seconds. Lots of slaps, lots of headbutts, as you would have expected.
I was right, by the way. Saya did start crying during the match.
Yep.
I was like, I know she can't hold these emotions.
I don't remember if it was before or after, but definitely during the slap fight.
It was during the slaps because they were like, all right, it's time to tee off. And Tam's just like, hit me. What do you...
The slaps were probably also like the bit to go into like the third act of the match,
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, okay, this is the ending sequence. Start slapping me.
I will say this, and this will probably shock some people, maybe not others. As it's all settled in, it's very sad that Tam's gone. Like, I know, I have a very up and down time with her and her run.
Talking about it from my perspective, too.
Right? I know.
I've been down on Tam basically the entire time, respecting still that she's really good.
The thing with Tam is that either you love it or you hate it, pretty much. And I've been the outside of I've been the Rock Hero. I'm like, oh, I love this. Oh, I don't know about that one. Oh, I love that. That's always been that for me. And that in many ways is the Tam road. Not everything's a home run. Not everything's probably supposed to be a home run, because it's at the end of the day how she sees wrestling.
But Tam always goes to bat. No, I take that back. I'm not gonna say she always. I was gonna say she always goes to bat swinging for home runs. That's not always the case. I've seen plenty of Tam matches that are definitely she doesn't care about what's happening.
Her biggest matches, she does.
Yeah,
She like
that's true.
there are matches like if you look at the 5-star Grand Prix or a house show or like an undercard match she's in, yeah, there will be times where she is absolutely phoning in it.
This is as much of a Tam Nakano retirement match as a Tetsuya Naito retirement match, if you catch my meaning.
Yeah, like she has her t-shirt days, she doesn't have her t-shirt days, but at the end of the day, when she steps into the biggest spotlight, which she has many times now in her career, she is the main eventer of the 2 biggest shows in Stardom's history.
Yep.
She is unquestionably the biggest draw since All Japan Women's days in Joshi.
I have been thinking about that a lot because obviously for the ballot we have like Io Shirai coming up, and I've been thinking about that a lot. Of like, yeah, you know what? Obviously, I think eventually maybe you add the rest of Freedom. Maybe not.
Sure.
Kyrie
won't get in.
Kyrie won't get in, but I could see like Dave putting Kyrie maybe on the ballot. I think Dave's definitely putting Mayu eventually on the ballot.
Yeah.
But I was like thinking about like you can make a really good case for Tam Nakano, because I was thinking about it in regards to like the drawing aspect for all those for the Freedom gals, right? And for Tam, I was just like, is Tam the best? I guess we'll see how much of it is Saya after this, but I assume it's gonna be all Tam. But is Tam the best Joshi draw in like decades? I think she might be. Like, and
she is. Yeah.
That says something. That says a lot. That says a lot, I think, about Tam Nakano. And I guess maybe a little bit about Rossi, but mostly Tam.
Like Tam, she's just such a one-of-a-kind case, Like Tam and Mayu have so many similarities in that neither were the chosen ones by any means, but due to situations, they had to be the ones who step up time and time again. And by default, Tam became super popular, leader of Cosmic Angels, most popular faction. And she got here. And as I sit here and I think back to, her legacy.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's as a draw.
Yes.
Indisputable. And it's, if you were to have a Mount Rushmore of Stardom, she is on it.
Yeah. I think this past year has elevated her to that.
Indisputably, she is on it. And
is it Freedom and her? No.
Kyrie's probably not on it.
Yeah, it's probably Mayu, Io, Tam.
You can make a case for like from back in the day if you want to put like Aikawa, who was the first like real star of the company. If you want to like just cover the whole bases of the company,
sure.
You can make a lot of. I'm not gonna. This is not the question, but Tam's on it, and I think Tam's comfortably number 3, which is a good thing. That is a credit to her. You are only behind Io Shirai and Mayu Iwatani. This is not discrediting her whatsoever. But her legacy, for me, Saya Kamitani. This is a wrestler. Despite never being in the same faction, she has put every ounce of her biggest moments into.
Yeah.
Yes, she won the world title before in the Wonder, but who did she lose the Wonder Stardom title to? Saya Kamitani. Who did she lose the World of Stardom title to? Saya Kamitani. And when she lost the World of Stardom title to Saya Kamitani, it was to launch her into the next stratosphere, which is what we are seeing. I see a lot of Joshi fans and a lot of people who legitimately care about the Observer Awards saying Kamitani has a real draw for the Luthez Award because of the drawing and all that. Sure. And
like I said,
she's gonna
all that will come out after this Tam,
right?
This show,
and we're really gonna test that
now.
If she can keep these ticket sales high, it's gonna be hard to dispute because, of course, Tam was always part of these cards, that she was absolutely, and that's the fascinating part. But at the end of the day, Tam set out to make Saya Kamatani. That was something she's done, and when the bell rang, and I never said this, I thought the match was so Tam in every way, shape, and form.
Oh yeah.
I would have been upset if it didn't end like this. But it was very emotional too. Ending with the Twilight Dream was great, but when this match was over and they exchanged words and tears and all that, and they walked up to the end and they sat there
So
together.
extremely cinematic.
Oh
Like,
yeah, it was
it felt like
so
the end of an
cinematic.
anime like movie.
Well,
Like,
Tam promised that if she loses, she is going to fade into darkness. She is not going to be seen ever again, and that's literally what she did.
they literally faded to black.
Yeah, like with the stuff coming down, her pointing, and it just disappeared. And I was like, "What did I just? Huh?"
I
Like
was
it was
like,
one of those
oh,
things where I was like,
to the roll credits afterwards, executive
"Right,
produced Taro Okada.
exactly." But at the same time, I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Like when you are ending when you're ending a career like Tam Nakano's, and you are so famously known for all these different things, you want it to end like this because
Yeah.
it would have missed the mark. This is her,
What
for
it is,
better or worse.
it is for me. It was like that, especially that cinematic ending. It was so weird in the pro wrestling context of things.
Oh yeah,
Like it felt very much like, what is this, WWE 2020?
sure.
Like what are we doing here? But that being said, I thought it worked so incredibly strongly that I
Yeah,
got chills from watching it.
yeah,
I got
yeah.
got some goosies. Uh, that it
You do it
was,
right, it works.
yes, it was done so well. The crowd being like silent for all during the
Yeah,
like promos, I guess. Them talking to each other, like it worked so well that the feathers, the black and white feathers coming down, the pointing, it literally felt like to me the end of a movie,
yep.
which in some
Is
ways
Tam's run?
in like yeah, it's like in some ways, is that what you want in wrestling? I don't know, but it fucking worked so incredibly well that I was like,
Yeah,
fuck, that was really well, that was extremely well done.
yeah, yeah. I think that's the best way to say it. It's like,
That's
did
Tam.
I
That's
want?
my relationship to Tam. It's like I
Yeah,
don't always like what Tam does, but fuck, she does it successfully sometimes.
she does, and when she does it when she does it in her best ways, you just gotta. Again, this is me sitting here as having followed most of her career, especially I followed her entire main event run, and it's never been perfect, but she knows how to wrap a bow on things,
Yeah.
and like her retiring this way, if she had a retirement, it was like when with Mayu, like had she had a ceremony like to leave and all these things, like I don't think it would have worked as much as having like this great match that it's so highly acclaimed, right? And for Tam, it's like if she had a retirement ceremony, that's too boring for Tam Nakano. Like she's got to go out in the most dramatic ass way, and you're gonna watch it, and you're gonna say, "Shit, that was fucking great." I
Yeah.
hate you for that, you know. But shout out to Tam. Obviously, that is the first of 3 Joshi legends retiring. All different legends in some form in this next month.
So I
Yeah,
was gonna say 2 days for for some
well,
of them.
yeah, because Mako's tonight, and Nanai is on the 24th of next year.
Yep.
Next year, Jesus, next month. I wish it was next year. No, next month.
Yeah.
So
And you
a
know what?
lot of
And real quickly, shout out to everyone on Samurai TV that missed the final, missed the end of the match, missed all this. They got Halloween Havoc very badly. Shout out to all those people.
I saw that. I was like, you
That
can't let
sucks.
that happen. Oof, but
That fucking
oof.
sucks.
Didn't happen to me because I was listening to my boy Walker,
Mhm.
who did a great job. Now, did I help him do a great job? Yes, but I'm going to give him a lot of credit. We legitimately he reveals this, and I record. So before this recording this morning, I talked to him for an hour and a half. We went over Queendom, his experience calling it and everything, and just a
And it was
review
just
of it.
Are you
all
sure it
the
wasn't
events.
are you sure it was an interview of Walker Stewart and not you just doing an interview in a mirror?
Anyways, he reveals that like literally on Wednesday we had a 3-hour call to go over everything
You
because
and
like
him.
that, yeah, because he was so focused on he wanted to get everything right. And obviously, New Japan's Bushiroad, whatever the fuck, doesn't have him do a lot of Stardom shows, so it's hard to stay in tune when
Yeah.
you're not there. So made sure he's up to it. And I think his main event call especially was really great. Like that is the one I give him so much credit for because when he saw the opportunity, it was silence. He let that entire thing marinate for us. I don't know what the Japanese calls sound like for it, but I was like, I couldn't have imagined watching this with no
I
sound.
believe it
But
was silent as well.
okay, well that's good. But he nailed it. He nailed it. So shout out to Walker. Shout out to this entire company and this roster for putting together really a show that I think people are going to remember for a very long time. Obviously, a home run of a show. You can do so much to get the people in the building, but it's also delivering when the people are in the building, and that's what they did. And now we're on to a new era of Stardom that will never, ever, ever, ever look the same. This company is not the same as it was yesterday, legitimately in every which way.
Yep.
I have said this already. I did not get yelled at for it on Twitter, which is shocking. Stardom is not Stardom anymore. It's in within the name, it is Stardom, but
Sure.
once the moment Mayu Iwatani walked out the door, it is no longer what it's been for 14 years. She
Yeah.
was the heart,
And
soul.
it's already been transitioning to
Sure.
like I said at the top of this. Like it's already been transitioning. This is the end
Yes.
of that transition for Stardom.
Yes. So Stardom is now a completely different company to me, which is not me saying it anything bad because the,
If anything, they've been doing a good job in this
right,
transition.
they've done a good job, but now she's gone. Now Tam's gone. Like this is an entirely new world. This is like watching a brand new company for me as someone who has followed it so closely. It's gonna be a different company watching for many others. But
You weren't, if I recall, you weren't watching Stardom yet when Kyrie and Io. Well, probably when
no.
Io left.
I EO is the reason I got into it because I saw her in
But you weren't
WWE.
watching Stardom as Io eventually left the company, right?
Not in real time. No, I've gone back and watched it.
Because I like things like this happen in like every company, and I imagine like when Io left, I can imagine there was a little bit of Kyrie, but when Io left, I imagine there was a big part of like this company is rapidly changing, and this right now in this moment for Stardom is a lot of people leaving,
Yeah.
but
The
like it's a little bit different, a little bit heavier, but like it is very much like I
mm,
think ultimately what it is like this is like the final bit of like Rossi is firmly out of it. There's like no longer his handprints are no longer on this company. You know what I mean?
yeah, the main mindset then was Stardom will be fine because Mayu's here.
Yeah.
Like that was legitimately Mayu was there, Kagetsu, like they had those two to kind of power them through it.
Yeah.
Um Now it's different because it's like Saya Kamatani's here, but like I don't know if that feels at I don't want to down talk Saya. She's doing incredible work and all that, but like it's not like certainty necessarily. Now it's certainty because like Bushiroad and some will be fine. It was
Sure.
different back then too. You have to remember that. Like this is a company that is not owned by a big corporation. That was just Rossi owning it at the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's important too, right? Like you had to get through the weeds there. Now they'll be fine. They'll figure it out. They have all the backing in the world to figure it out. But yeah, that's kind of the fun and interest level for me in Stardom moving forward. That being said, is this the company that will have my attention every minute of every day anymore? Nope.
We'll find out.
Because because that's what happens when Mayu leaves, folks. This is I have very clearly said that, but I'm excited to see what they do. They'll figure it out. It is fascinating though to see like all these posters that they have. Like that is why people. That's why people believe this was not happening.
Yeah.
So I understand that. Um, but at the same time, like, posters are posters in Japan. Like, what are you're gonna
Yeah,
not put them on there and reveal to the world that, like, they're not gonna be here? They had Tam and Mayu on the Golden Week poster. It's the way it goes. But
I'm sure I'll get updates.
I'm intrigued. Good talk. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, let's move right along. We got a lot less to show left to do, and we've already gone an hour and a half. Big time show for Stardom. Let's move on. Clean up a little bit of WrestleMania weekend here. DPW Deadlock Pro had a show. We talked about this. We ranted about this last week about they had a show during the week. Then they did not live stream it, even though they've live streamed in the past before. And instead, it was taped. They released it a week later. At the time, people were saying, like, yeah, this might have been the show of the week. And Scotty, you and I both watched the entire show, and it might have been the show of WrestleMania week.
Oh yeah,
I thought top down, this show fucking rocked. I think every match was at least like 3.5 to 4.25.
I'll say this: it's without a doubt better than any indie show.
Oh yeah,
like I need to make that clear. It was just a very easy watch.
No filler.
It was a good, simple, easy watch. It was one that I had no problem watching start to finish. I didn't skip a match. I watched them all. I think everything was pretty solid to very good. And they crowned the new world champion that I'm behind and excited for too. So that matters.
Yeah, obviously on this show we had Masha Slamovich and Queen Amanada defeat Magenta, Maria and Riko Kawahata. It's interesting. I think Riko Kawahata only had one booking this week. That's interesting.
That and Marvelous. Well, she was the great Sakuya on one show.
Who? Spoilers, Scotty. Scotty, please. Kayfabe.
Sorry.
Tag team match: Arez and the Beast Mortos defeat Laredo Kid and Rey Horus. DPW Women's World Title Proving Ground match: Takumi Iroha defeats Danny Luna within the time limit.
That was good.
That was really fun. 9:40. I believe the time limit was 10. So basically at the buzzer, Iroha picks up the win. So that means we're going to get that as a world title match down the line, Scotty. So I assume at these Japan shows. I'm not positive.
They did not do that. No. What you would have thought. They did not, though. I think the reason they didn't do it, I'll say this. I think the reason they didn't do it is because
I'm looking at this real quick.
The reason they didn't do it is because Takumi doesn't really lose in Japan.
Yeah, that's probably right.
It's different her losing in America comparably.
Danny Luna actually is already set to face two different women on both nights, if you can believe it. She's having a match with Rika Tatsumi on night 1, and then on night 2, she is facing Rina Yamashita, both for the women's world title.
Word.
So shout out Danny Luna. Holy shit.
I'm all for it.
LeBron Cazone defeats Leon Slater for the DPW national title to retain. Grizzly Young Veterans retain their tag titles in a Sin City street fight against Violence for Forever. And of course, Adam Priest becomes your new DPW World's title champion by winning the Ultimate Conflict elimination match. But top down, like I said, I thought the show was really great. I love the Sin City street fight between these two guys. I thought LeBron Cazone and Leon Slater ruled. Like
that was really good.
The elimination match, I think it had ups and downs. It had waves of like, this is really good, this is really, really bad. Mad Dog Connolly coming out, just destroying people. Then him, and then Tremont coming out, getting him eliminated immediately, and them just then brawling into the crowd. I thought that was really fun. There was some, like I said, there were some bits in here that I really enjoyed. They're setting up, by the way, Matt Tremont versus Mad Dog Connolly, and I'm like, let's go. More Mad Dog. I'm excited for that. Trevor Lee, again, continues to be like one of the best like wrestling heel characters, I think, on the indies today.
Yeah,
Adam Priest, I think, also part of that. What's that?
I was upset he lost, but I understood why he did.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought this whole thing really enjoyed. What did you enjoy about the show, or were some things also maybe you didn't quite enjoy?
Okay. I don't know if it's a hot take. I don't like Violence is Forever. Do not like them.
That's probably a hot take.
Don't like them.
Why?
I think they're fake tough guys.
Wow. Even when they're bleeding, even when like, Kevin Q is,
I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I don't like them. I'm sorry. I can be shot for that. I don't care. Like I know a lot of people like them. But this was the match because I gave him. I never had a problem, but for some reason, this was the match that stood out to me. I was like, I don't want to say fake tough guys. Like they're fucking bleeding in the middle of the ring. Like shout out to them, but like their gimmick, if that makes sense. Like they're trying to do like Japanese style very clearly, and I don't.
Would insincere be a better word?
Yeah, maybe that's definitely a better word. They're definitely tough guys. Like I understand they're going out there and wrestling. I respect that.
But they feel like
Yeah,
tough guys versus they are tough guys. I'm guessing is how you feel.
sure. Yeah, like I recognize them as people are probably like, this is just the wrestling gimmick in the story. It was still a fun match. Went a little too long, I thought.
Sure.
Um,
I agree. I can agree
I
to
think
that.
there was a point where I was like, "Oh, this all right, here we go, we're ended," and then it kept going, and I was like, "All right."
Yeah.
Um, what else did I really like Kozone versus Slater. That was the best Kozone match I've seen.
Me too.
I that was the match where I saw him and I was like, okay, this is what people have been talking about. And you put him in there with an opponent like Leon Slater, and it all works out. Leon Slater is very talented. He's a guy that's going to be a name for years to come. I thought the opening match was
Well,
good. Masha and
he's
Amanat.
a name for years to come, assuming that he can get caught by a couple people on
Yeah, no
TNA.
shit. I saw that. Aminata and Masha were really good with Magenta. I once again say, what the frick are we doing with Aminata and AEW? She's so good. Like I
They're
said,
doing the women's division in Deadlock rules. I think Daniel Luna has
yes,
been a really fun champion. You
she's
have
good. She's good.
Aroha. You have Aroha who just won a proving ground match. You
Yep.
have Masha and Queen Amanata both saying that they want to fight Daniel Luna for the title. And then you have Hyan who just lost to Daniel Luna at the last show. Start this show by putting a bounty on Daniel Luna and going basically crazy. Like this is a company that like the women's division is like a bunch of women who all want to become champion. I'm like,
Yeah,
yes, this is wrestling. This is so simple, so fucking simple, and they have
so
like
simple.
4 different, maybe 5, I guess, with High End of the Bounty, which got to be Brian Keith, of course. It just like it, all of it is like this is so well booked and well put together.
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying it.
it's what you want to see.
Yes,
It's what you want to see from a division that has care behind it, and that's what this very clearly does.
yeah.
Overall, just a very good show. No
I really
complaints.
enjoyed it. I
Definitely,
really like this show, Scotty.
definitely the best show from WrestleMania week. I don't think it's a question.
Easily best show of WrestleMania weekend. One of my best shows of the year so far. We'll
Ooh,
see how much
DP
that changes.
Dub, DP
Um,
Dub.
yeah, it was really, really solid. I'm very much
Still
excited to see
upset
more
that
of
it
this.
didn't air.
Yep, I'm also upset about that, but
I'm not letting that go because it was good.
I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna eat that a little bit. I think they would have I think it's such a bad mistake. I think they would have had a lot more of the conversation of like best show of the
Would have
week
had so
is
much more
Deadlock
hype
Pro.
behind it.
I agree. Instead, like a week later, it felt like everyone died. You know?
Right. Like I feel like it's like by the time like a week after WrestleMania came, I was like, oh, right, that was a week ago. I was like, that feels so long ago already.
Deadlock Pro feels like a company, like at least as like an indie company, feels like such like a well booked, like almost like insanely well booked company. But then promotion wise, it's always me being like, I mean, I understand, but like, are you sure? Like,
Yeah.
I understand what they're doing, and they're trying to be profitable, right? And run a proper company, but at the same
Of
time, it's
course.
like it's WrestleMania weekend. Do go live, use it as a PR thing, you know.
Hmm. Especially
Anyways,
because like all these other companies are set up.
yeah, but like this roster is really great. The booking's really great throughout. Like you said, LeBron Kazone really showcases really great here. This entire like world title thing, whereas like I had ups and downs in terms of excitement and what the crowd being into it. I think it was a bad idea to do this match here, ironically enough, because I think the crowd died countless times during this match, especially after the street fight. Um, Thomas Shire, a guy who was super high on a tag match, comes out, blows 2 spots, and then goes on for the rest of it. I was like, all right, that sucks to see. But like everyone else in here, like BK Westbrook, Adam Priest, Blackwood, Tankman, Brian Keith, Trevor Lee, Titus Alexander. Like, there's so many people in here that like, fuck, this company is really good. And this is probably, honestly, Scotty, the indies aren't great. This is easily the best indie in America,
sure.
easily.
Yeah, that is not up for debate.
Bar cleared.
Yeah, that's not up for debate. So I won't debate you for it.
Perfect.
I'll just agree.
Well, let's move on. Let's talk about AAA real quickly. Because just speaking of WrestleMania cleanup,
AAA. What happened with that?
Some tiny news came out about AAA just as a follow-up also to them being, of course, purchased by WWE. If you were living under a rock for some reason, well, there you go. AAA is now owned by WWE. We got a little bit of like
really?
what this... Yeah, fun fact. Not a fun fact, but we got a little bit of like what this could mean for the company because we got a little bit of what this could mean for AAA moving forward. Obviously, WWE's PR is saying that they want to maintain traditional lucha libre. We've also, I think you saw, like, I don't know if you saw, Scotty, like CMLL reacted to that like Mexican lucha libre will still exist as still as Arena Mexico exists. I was like, yeah, there we go. Those are my boys. Those are my CMLL boys. But the tiny little bit of news that we got about AAA and all of this is that Jeremy Borash is reportedly joining the AAA creative team. If you don't know, Jeremy Borash started in WCW when it got purchased. He left WCW and joined TNA. He was from TNA for a very, very long time. And then he went to WWE, and I want to say 2017, 2018, something like that. I don't know exactly. What does he actually do in WWE? He left in 2018. He is... His current title in WWE is Senior Director of Content and Development, working directly with Shawn Michaels on the NXT brand. So if that is a similar title that he is doing with AAA, then I see him almost as a sort of go guy between the NXT and Triple H and Paul Levesque, right, and the rest of the company. It seems like Jeremy Borash is like that middleman, that middle manager here, and it's probably going to be the same thing here for AAA. Borash has been credited. I'm looking at his Wikipedia. Borash has been credited by WWE COO Triple H as a true innovator and was chosen as the director for the Undertaker's Boneyard match. Oh, 2 Boneyard match references this show. Anyways, so that's, however you think about that is its own thing. I see him gonna be as more of a middle manager. Conan says that he's still involved in the creative direction of the company. So I guess that's good for what that's worth. Like, if they're not overhauling with like Shawn Michaels or somebody else, so good for what it's worth.
I imagined Shawn Michaels booking that and got a good laugh.
Yeah. Latin Lover and Conan both went on their podcasts, and I believe Conan was the one that said AAA wrestlers need to learn English. Lucha Blog has a really good post about this as well, and he talks about how, especially in regards to this comment of how they need to learn English, is that like it's really tough because WWE says they want to preserve traditional lucha libre, but at the same time, we all know that working in WWE is working within its own box, is working within WWE's like playhouse, right? And at the same time of like, yeah, we want to preserve traditional lucha libre, you have like them in AAA, Conan being like, well, yes, we can be lucha libre in Mexican wrestling, but we also have to be an American company now and play within their box. And it's like, okay, so the company's going to change no matter what. Conan wants to use WWE wrestlers in booking, not just NXT wrestlers. He's very excited about using potentially Dominic Mysterio, which makes sense. But Scotty, can you tell me? I know you know this for an answer in the back of your head. What gimmick do you think Conan is very excited to use in AAA on the WWE roster?
Oh, El Grande Americano.
Oh yeah, he wants to push that super.
He probably already has him winning the AAA Mega Championship.
I don't think that's wrong.
Hey, congratulations, Chad Gable! You are a world champion.
So yeah, I mean, also it's like I think it's a terrible gimmick, but at the same time, it's like you've seen AAA before, and like
terrible gimmick, terrible company.
We all know that like look, it's a cultural difference, but like we also all know that like in Mexico, like playing to that gimmick, we've seen it with Jeff Jarrett, we've seen it with what the fuck, Corey Graves' brother, Sam Adonis. We've seen him do like anti-American gimmicks. John Morrison's done anti-American or anti-Mexican gimmicks in AAA. El Grande Americano is legitimately like a gimmick that would work extremely well in AAA. So that doesn't shock me at all. But so in terms of answers of how it's going to change, Jerry Borash is joining the creative. So we have a WWE person being put in there. Conan is
Can't be
apparently,
worse.
apparently still involved, but they're actively talking about things of, well, we have to Americanize our product a little bit, which things we all knew about, not enough to really change anything, but we got some updates about all those sort of things. So I don't know. Nothing that breaks the barrier of like what I thought was going to happen, but we'll continue to see what happens with AAA as it unfolds. There was a number floating around there of what they were sold for, but according to Lucha Blog, that's a number that apparently you shouldn't trust. I think he said that number is from Disco Inferno. I might have been confusing two different things, but he's like, don't, if it's from Disco, you don't believe it.
I feel like we don't have to say that out loud, but the fact that we do scares me.
Yeah. So yeah, apparently there's a reported number out there, but Lucha Blog believes that to be completely false. So keep that in the back of your all heads. But yeah, so we'll see what happens to AAA. It's obviously going to change as a company. It's a matter of how much, and so far they're going to speak English. So we'll see what happens. Wrestling Dontaku is this weekend, night 1 and night 2 for New Japan, May 3rd and May 4th this weekend. These are some interesting shows, a lot of multi-man matches, of course, and some more interesting main event type matches. So we'll talk about that real quickly, Scotty. I'll run through the cards here and I'll let you get your opinions off of things. First match, I'll quickly blast through these multi-mans. First match, Master Wato, Yo, Bolton Oleg, Toriano versus Kosei Fujita, Robbie Eagles, Hartley Jackson, Rohei Iwa. Then second match, Taika Michinoku, Taichi, Tomohiro Ishii, and Yuya Uemura versus Bushi, Hiromu, Tetsuya Naito, and Yota Tsuji. Is Naito working night 2? I presume he is. Yes, he is. So this will probably be his second to last match in New Japan, I presume. Third match, Rusuke Taguchi, Yoshihashi, Hiroki Goto versus Jacob Austin Young, Great O'Khan, and Callum Newman. And then this is probably where the card starts getting more interesting for you, Scotty. Well, fourth match is going to fight you on that one. Fourth match. Okay, stay with me. Fourth match. El Phantasmo. Scotty, stay with me. Stay with me. El Phantasmo and Jado. Stay with me. Versus Rocky Romero. Stay with me, but that's still not great. El Phantasmo and Jado versus Rocky Romero and Konosuke Takeshita.
All right.
Is that enough of a save?
That's a wild match.
That is a wild match.
Why book that?
I don't know. I assume that means that Phantasmo is probably challenging Takeshita for the Never title at some point. Not on night 2, I'll tell you that much. But that's what I presume is going to happen. Oh, Resurgence? Did they announce cards for Resurgence? I don't think they have.
But yeah, they announced it. They did?
It. Yeah. Is that match happening? Is that Takeshita match happening? Did I properly?
Takeshita and Phantasmo? Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, okay. So this is that's just gonna be a preview tag for that match at Resurgence. So good on them. Next up, fifth match, another Hiroshi Tanahashi singles match. This time against Zack Sabre Jr. Nice little bit of British wrestling style. We'll see here. Special singles match: Shota Umino versus Shingo Takagi. This is me as Red Shoes. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's Shingo.
But it's Shota.
How
many big singles matches are we gonna give this guy?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You're talking about Tanahashi, of course, right?
No, he's better than Shota Umino.
No, I agree. And then your main event on night 1 is a dog pound cage match. I think dog pound is just like it's meant to be the war game steel cage match thing. War Dogs versus House of Torture. Taiji Ishimori, Clark Connors, Drilla Maloney, Gabe Kidd, and David Finlay versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Sho, Sonata, Ren Narita, and of course your King of Darkness, Evil.
Shout out to the King of Darkness. I don't know how this match is going to go. It'll be okay. I mean, I didn't love the last one.
Yes.
So I can't imagine I'm gonna love this one, but I do love Evil. Do love
Yeah,
Evil.
we are swapping Osprey out for Evil, so that is a different match entirely. But I don't know.
Yeah, some would say it's better now. So you're right. I expect this to actually be a 5-star classic. Nothing says a 5-star classic like Current Sonata and Drilla Maloney and Red Narita. So yeah, can't
and show.
and show. But you know what? We do have Evil. So
Yeah, my big problem with this match is that like the first time they did this match, right, last year, basically, this 5-on-5 thing, extremely bloody, extremely violent, bumps galore, crazy match, right? Um, Part of the Evil gimmick and House of Torture gimmick is like kind of like avoiding bumps for heat. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
doing these sort of things and like taking stuff away to then like you get the return. I don't see how that formula would work in a 5-on-5 cage match. And I also don't see the House of Torture guys really bumping and having a bloody brawl around the entire arena, or I guess entire cage. I really don't know how this is going to work at all. This is either going to work or not, or it's going to be bad. That's how I'm feeling about going into it.
yeah. I can see this being awful. Let's be honest. It's gonna be terrible.
War Dogs are going to. I don't mean to say this, Scotty, but I'm going to say it, and it is in line. War Dogs are going to try hard for this match for sure.
They're definitely tryhards.
And I think they're gonna I think because House of Torture are gonna not. I think they're gonna look. It's gonna come off bad for the War Dogs. You know what I mean? It's gonna come off like they are trying hard.
Yeah.
So
I
weird.
I can't get myself to be excited.
No, me neither.
Me neither. It's not a match that I look at. I'm like, oh, you know, that'd be good.
Yeah, I look at it. I'm like, I'll watch it. You know, I'll watch it. It's a main event of a New Japan show. It has Evil in it, of course, required by law, Scotty. We have to watch it. So I'm gonna watch it. I'm like, we'll see. We'll see how this is. You know, this is either a car wreck or not. I guess I want it to be a car wreck. I guess if it's like last year, but I don't know. But that's night one. Wrestling Dontaku. This is in Fukuoka as well. I should note. Night two is as follows. Blasting through these multi-mans real quickly. Who are these people? What? Taiji Ishimori and Gato versus Baten Bura and the Mentai Kid. I don't know who these people are. They don't have profiles. I have no idea who these people are. Maybe someone in the comments knows.
Wow. That's
I don't know.
No, there's not a chance someone in the comments knows who these people are. No offense to the people.
I wonder if these are like fake gimmicks. I don't know.
You're a fake gimmick.
How dare you, sir? Jacob Austin Young, Great Khan versus Master Wato and Yoshihashi. Oh boy, that's skip central. Stardom showcase match. We got a 6-woman. Well, hold on.
Mike is in it. Mike is in it.
Okay, great. I saw Micah. And I was like, wait a second. Stardom showcase match. Micah, Hazuki, and Koguma versus Azame, the Starlight Kid, and Yuna Mizunori. The N is confusing me. This should be fun. This should be a little bit. I think this is probably going to be a very simple, not a really hard-hitting. This is going to be nothing like you've seen in All-Star Grand Queendom.
It is in Fukuoka, which is the hometown of those three. So
that is true, but
Hazuki's going to try.
I assume, yeah, Hazuki's going to try, but I assume half these people are injured, so we'll see how much it gets involved and everything. I'm very excited to see Azame versus Hazuki in that regard.
Yeah, it should be fun. It should be fun. It's honestly like better than a normal New Japan undercard match, so I'll take it. I know the next match is good.
Now I know you were
remembering it.
I know you were excited about that to catch the match beforehand, Scotty, but I think this match they're doing the match again. Doing the match again on the night 2, and they're changed one participant. Are you ready to lock in for this one? Rocky Romero and Konosuke Takeshita versus El Phantasmo and Bolton Oleg.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good.
That's no offense to Jado, but that's an improvement.
Full offense to Jado. I just finally got the card up and I just saw who was in the next match. Dear fucking God.
Yeah, this one's rough. Okay, fifth match, 5-on-5. Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, Robbie Eagles, Rohei Oiwan, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tanahashi, Toru Yano. He's off the shelf. He's popping up. Yo, Tajiri. Yep, that Tajiri in Chikuzen Ryota, who I don't know who that is. I assume some Tajiri trainee would be my guess.
Tajiri.
I don't know why I don't know why Tajiri's here, but you know what? That's fine. It's a 5-on-5. It's whatever.
I don't know why Tajiri's here.
I don't know why,
but he is.
He's here. I might watch that because I'm probably going to start at the Stardom Showcase match and then move on. I guess depending on like what a cage match says, or whatever.
You just naturally watch it.
Yeah, so it's like it's on. I'll watch it. I'll see how it is. Sixth match here: Taka Michinoku, Taichi, Tomohiro Ishii, Shota Umino versus Bushi, Hiromu, Takahashi, Tetsuya Naito, and Shingo Takagi. I believe this is Naito's last match in New Japan officially, along with Bushi. Well, no, not Bushi, because Bushi's actually in Best of Super Juniors.
Is he staying in it?
I believe he is staying in it. So that's interesting.
That makes sense.
He was already booked, so I imagine they were like, yeah, you can just stay in it. But he's probably going to lose a lot of matches. But yeah, this might be Naito's last match here. Last match of the tour, I believe. Shota Umino opposite of him. That is interesting, notable. But Taichi, Ishii, this should be very fun, I think. And I can't wait for Michinoku to take the fall, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna watch it because it's Naito's last match. That's about all I got.
That's pretty much how I feel as well. And
I wouldn't watch it otherwise.
And otherwise, it's like with Shota in the match, there is a chance something interesting could happen. You know, like you know what I mean. Like maybe we'll finally get this faction nonsense off the road of Shota Umino, as we're all suspecting.
It'd be really funny if it just never. Oh my God! Imagine if they put him in LIJ.
I would not be surprised. Honestly, I would not be surprised.
It's absolutely the ultimate
troll job.
Final attempt to try to like make him a thing, and it'll fail, right? Obviously, and the answer by default will have to be, well, Naito left. Like, what did you expect LIJ to just be like bumping without him? Like, you nuts? Yeah, this is a match, but it's gonna be emotional probably. So
yeah,
that's that.
So lock in for that. Speaking of LIJ, IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship match: Yota Tsuji defending his title for the 4th time versus Yuya Uemura. A very strong match here, Scotty.
Yeah, every part of my being is excited for this match. Every part of it.
Every part.
Like this is like the one good match on the entire 2 shows.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I guess there are things that could be better, but like on card, like looking at on paper, everything, this is like the only match that I'm truly circling.
Yeah, we got to watch it, but yeah. Oof.
Very excited to see what this is going to look like. Obviously, the main event as well, IWGP World Heavyweight Title match, Hiroki Goto 5th defense against Callum Newman. So yeah, we'll see what happens here between these two. I think it's very clear that Newman is probably going to lose against Goto. That is fine. That is whatever. The bigger news here, obviously, is just it's a nice little bit, bump it up for Newman, what they're doing, and getting Goto another defense as we're locking into the long haul of a Goto title reign.
Yeah, Cal Newman's it's hard for me to believe that was their pivot. They're just like, oh, well, Jeff Cobb's leaving, so I guess we'll just go with Callum Newman.
Yeah. Well, who would you rather look? They're obviously doing this with United Empire right now. Who would you rather have?
No, that's the problem. Templario.
Okay, you're right. All right, you're right.
have him do both title matches in the week. Challenge Despy, lose. Challenge Goto, lose. Call it a day.
Oh yeah, because that's happening
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
This tomorrow. The Starlight Kid.
I'm pulling that up real quick. Yes, Great O'Khan versus El Phantasma for the New Japan World TV title match tomorrow. IWGP Junior Tag titles, Master Wato and Yo versus Fujita and Robbie Eagles, and then El Desperado versus Templario.
Oh, better than half the Dontaku show.
I think you're right, sir. I think you're definitely right, sir.
Like that main event's better than everything besides Yuya and Tsuji.
Yeah.
And the junior tag should be fun at least. And what was the other one?
The other one I clicked off was well, El Fantasma versus Great Okan.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that one's not doing enough for me, but that's fine. That's it's whatever. Yeah, I mean that's a big week for New Japan. Excited to see what unveils for them. I don't think we'll get any big like title changes. Maybe we'll get a title change in the Uemura Tsuji match. Like legitimately, I wouldn't be shocked if we get that. But I still think we should keep it on Tsuji, but especially with Naito gone, just to showcase a little bit more. But at this point, I wouldn't be shocked, especially going to, Best Super Juniors is next, but maybe you could do something at Dominion and then you go into the G1. So otherwise, I think we're probably going to be a skippable show, but nonetheless, we'll make sure to cover it here and next week as well. So there we go. Along with that, or any other last little bits, Scotty, on Dontaku or the other show?
I'm not excited for it.
I don't blame you. I don't think a lot of people are.
It's tough for a New Japan card, for sure. But hopefully they set up. What is after this? I guess they're going to be off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Goto's not going to defend again until Dominion.
Yeah.
Well, till Resurgence, he's defending at Resurgence.
Yeah.
And then Dominion.
Yeah, it's New Japan has had a very interesting year of like month by month being either super cold or super hot.
This is a cold month.
Yeah. Well, cold start. We'll see how the best is
cold as ice.
Well, see how the best of the Bosch goes, but we'll
when is that?
That starts on, I want to say Saturday. Might be Sunday, but let me double check. It starts on, well, not this Saturday.
Saturday, May 10th.
May 10th, yes. Resurgence is on the 9th, and then the next day, or I guess a couple hours later, technically, it will be the Bosch Night 1. And that is throughout the entire month of May. I believe actually finals is June 1st for the best of the Bosch. Well, not the best of the Bosch. That's on patreon.com/countupod, of course. Double plugs. All right, last little bit here. Memorial Voyage. Noah has a big time show. And when I say big time show, I mean big time show, Scotty. May 3rd, this Saturday for Noah, where the main event is, of course, Ozawa defending the GHC Heavyweight Championship versus Kenta. A long-awaited match for these two. Scotty, this looks very strong. I don't know if you watched the No DQ tag match yet.
I did.
But
it's good.
What do you think of it?
I had a lot of fun with it. I was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't put Kenta in DQ matches, no DQ matches and stuff like that to keep him safe. But I thought it was a lot of fun. Crazy Corkin crowd too. Yeah, I kind of liked it as the preview for this. I'm much more into the match, like overall, outside of just Kenta challenging for the GHC, than I was before.
Where do you think we should go? Are you still on the side of Kenta winning the title here?
Obviously, it's like incredibly difficult because like Ozawa's bringing in people, but it's Kenta. Like it's Kenta in Noah. I don't think that's gonna hurt business. I don't think that's gonna hurt them.
Hurt business, you say?
They hurt people. No, that's who should win the GHC.
But Big Bob.
That would be awesome. Shouts out Big Bob. But yeah, I think
Kenta winning, I think, would be the good thing about Noah in this position is like I don't think they're wrong no matter what. I think Kenta's a good idea, but like Ozawa, I mean, yeah. Very excited for that one. Other matches on here: 25th anniversary Arc Legend single matches. How they're promoting it now: Michi Marufuji versus Kaito Kiyomiya in a special singles. I think this is a anniversary match for Marufuji, if I'm not mistaken. So for 25 years. So nice to see that versus him and Kaito Kiyomiya in a special singles. Special tag match: Jun Akiyama is returning to Noah, teaming up with Takashi Sugiura versus Tetsuya Endo and Yu Owada. That's a nice little bit of business, a little DDT Noah action.
Nice little tasty match.
I
guess.
Yeah, no, hey, look, I like Jun Akiyama. I'm excited to see how this looks like. Especially him and Endo, like their relationship now that Endo has turned heel and joined Team 2000X. Like a little bit of business. GHC Junior Heavyweight Title match: Eita versus Yohei. Yeah. GHC Tag Team Title match: Jack Morris and Daga defending their titles against Kano and Oka Sasaki. That should be good. That should be good. GHC National Title match: Galeno versus Saxon Huxley.
Jesus.
I know that one. I don't know about that one.
Saxon Huxley.
Special singles match: Hayata versus Tadasuke, where the special referee is going to be Manabu Soya. This guy was a champion a month ago, and now he's a referee. That's fine. It's part of the gimmick. It's part of the.
Match stinks.
Yeah, it's kind of stinks. It's all like, especially Manabu Soya as a ref, like it's whatever. 10-man tag: Masaki Mina, Shohei Taniguchi, Ki Haruto, Alejandro, and Kai Fujimura versus Black Matsure, Hajime Ohara, Atsuki Kotoge, Kazuyuki Fujita, and Muhammad Yone. So nice, just an opener tag team match. Just kidding. Here's the real opener. Here's the real reason to get excited, Scotty, because we got a GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title match. It's Amakusa. It's Junta Miyawaki versus Dragon Bane and Alpha Wolf. They're back, baby. They're back in Noah. Let's go.
I missed them. Noah's missed them.
I've missed them greatly.
Oh man, they this is their first match in Noah this year. How about that? They wrestled the most random ass places. Holy. The Crash, Invasion, Indie, Sábado de Gloria.
They are full on Mexican indie wrestlers for sure.
It's crazy to me. They're so good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, that should rule.
One of the best tag teams of last year returning to Noah. Probably going to win the junior heavyweight tag titles. I'm fine with that.
I forgot didn't they go to heavyweights like last year?
They went into the N1, but then after the N1 was I forget what they called the junior tournament off the top of my head, but Dragon Bane went back into that. So I don't know. I don't know, man. They're junior, but also like Alpha Wolf is like ginormous, so it's like I don't understand how they're juniors. Maybe it's like a total weight. What is Alpha Wolf? What do they bill him at? 100 kilograms. That makes sense. He is right on the money. He is the Shingo Takagi of the junior division for sure, in terms of weight, in terms of scale. Yeah, I think they try to bump him up to heavyweight, but they didn't. Did they do a heavyweight? Are you looking at Cage Match right now?
They did do a heavyweight. I can't find it though. Wait 1 second. 2024.
I thought they did do a heavyweight title run.
Title run or challenge?
Both, I guess.
They only challenged.
Okay.
They challenged Anthony Green and Jack Morris. Those were really good.
That was really good.
They should have won.
Noah should just combine their tag titles.
Yeah, they really should.
They don't have enough teams to really maintain this momentum.
I mean, you could argue New Japan should have too, but I digress.
Yes, that's also
fair. They don't have enough tag teams for the heavyweight.
They have Bishamon.
They have more for junior.
They have Bishamon,
who aren't the champions. Technically, they have Callum Newman and Grado Khan.
I guess we're going to count them as
they're the champions. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Who else? I'm going to look up the roster page. I guess we're ignoring juniors. We're just looking at heavyweights, right?
Yeah. Nothing.
El Fantasma and Jado.
Oh, yay.
Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking here. Yeah, they really got
The
nobody.
Rock is cooking.
They really got nobody. And that stinks. Anyways, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all we got in store for you. I think that's it for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. Scotty is going to continue with his 48 hours of recording 1 billion audio, and I will continue working on my Best of the Bosch series. But Scotty, in the meantime, give us some plugs. Give us some stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass out. I've hit a wall.
I noticed. I noticed for sure.
I hit a wall. Oh, I need caffeine. All right. Yeah, I got a lot of plugs. Okay.
Go right ahead, sir.
All right, here we go. YouTube.com/@ScottEWrestling. I have a breaking news audio for Mayu Iwatani officially leaving Stardom and my excitement for what's next for her and where she goes from here and her importance to Stardom. I have an upcoming I'm gonna probably post this today. A Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom 2025 review with Walker Stewart, who of course called the show. I recorded that before this. I probably am gonna upload it today, though I uploaded the Mayu thing already today, so maybe I'll push it off. I don't know. But that's gonna be up if you want to hear Walker's thoughts on the show and calling it and all that. I think it's pretty cool, exclusive little thing that'll be over on the YouTube channel as well. I did do a 5-star episode live stream on Sunday on the Fight Game Media Network YouTube channel. Definitely check that out. That's also on all podcast platforms. And I have a lot more content coming this week, so you're definitely going to want to subscribe if you don't already. And that is that. I am tired. My match of the week? Fuck. Oh my God. Let's do the Marigold versus Marvelous match from their Corkin last Friday. It was, or not last Friday. Yeah, this past Friday. It was Miku Ano, Chika Goto, Natsumi Suzuki, Rhea Seto, and Kazuna Tanaka versus Takumi Iroha, Maria, Riko Kawahara, Ai Hozan, and Sora Ayame. Oh my God. Yeah, everyone should watch Mako's retirement tonight. And that's it. Goodbye, everybody.
All right. My match of the week. That is also a great question. My match of the week is going to be something that I watched, which is potentially going to be a match that involves wrestlers from a company that is named going to be, let's just say AEW. Let's just say Dynamite. Let's say the Young Bucks versus Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey, Speedball Mike Bailey. That was a great match. That was a legitimately great match. I think went 4 flat. Great match. Young Bucks, still very good. Can you believe it, Scotty? The Young Bucks still very good at wrestling. And Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey are like so fucking great hires. Legitimately, I think they've been killing it ever since they arrived. Oh, other than that one promo Mike Bailey did, but that's besides the point.
As long as he's not cutting promos, we're all
as long
set.
as he's not talking, I'm fine with it. Just as long as he shuts his trap, then I'm fine with this. But yeah, it was a really great match. My plugs are going to be the following. You can follow us online on social media if you so choose, but ultimately get off social media. What are you doing? Listen to the rest of the shows on our network, Jumping Knee Pod, Ichiban Sweetcast, The Ballot. I put out the last episode on the ballot of Les Kellett. Next month, the plan is Io Shirai, of course, with Scotty. And we'll see if we're able to pull together surprise. We'll find out. I haven't got an update from Scotty, but we'll see if we can pull that together. Otherwise,
you asked me on a weekend that I was not mentally prepared.
Oh, I could tell. That's a fun little joke. No worries. We have plenty of weeks to figure that out. I am also in the middle on patreon.com/kind-of-pod. I'm in the middle of Best of the Bosch. It is the sort of yearly series that I've been doing starting last year, where I talk about the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. We did 4 last season. This season, I plan to do at least 5. That would be great. I already released 1 last week on the 1996 finals between Jushin Thunder Liger and Black Tiger, Eddie Guerrero. And literally a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago at this point, literally, let's say 2 minutes ago, I released the next episode of the series about the 2018 Best of Super Juniors finals between Hiromu Takahashi and Taiji Shimori. So right now, you can literally go to patreon.com/kind-of-pod. You can get a 7-day free trial for $5 a month. You can listen to the newest episode that literally dropped 2 minutes ago, along with the other 5 episodes of the series, along with all the other audio that we have on patreon.com/countoutpod. Other than that, I think that is it from me. So again, thank you everybody for listening to this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. We'll be back on Sunday? Question mark? Probably. Is there anything impeding? I don't think so.
That I know of.
I think we're in the clear. So I believe we will be back on Sunday. But no matter what, we will be back next week on Ring Post Radio discussing we'll be back on Mother's Day, on the 11th, that Mother's Day, talking about another week of professional wrestling. Until then, goodbye, everybody.